Hello and welcome to this week's segment of ABL's Top Plays. Starting us off at number 5, in White Lotus vs No Fear, Prodemity teams up with his jungler to look for an engage on the White Lotus bot lane. However, some great kiting allows White Lotus to not only survive, but turn the 2v4 around.
Forward, throws out the Q. Here comes the Nocturne though, going in for the Paranoia, trying to do a little bit more damage. He does get rooted up, and there's the turnaround kill, the Arcane Barrage. Lokidosi is able to get this kill. The 2v2 is going extremely well at F-Road. Able to get another kill with the trap. Gonna go for some auto attacks. Mucho Gosu running away. Here comes Jock, gonna get a nice rocket and auto attack. There's the Sheep proc.
Next up at number 4, Dynasty eSports sees an opportunity to engage, and Dorhan jumps in with a 3-man Cataclysm. However, there is not enough DPS to follow up, and First Blood starts to turn things around. That is until Bishop and Rat join forces to kite back and turn the fight back in their favor.
That's a great kill from Bishop to stop the ace in the hole. Mike gets taken down. Tibbs comes in. He finds the shutdown. What can they find onto Bishop? Because Rat is here. It's a 2v2 in the rivers. That's the Hextech ultimatum onto Bishop. Bishop, they find the outplay. They find the kill. DTS will be able to find one, but the True Shot Barrage will find the shutdown, and it's gonna be the ace.
And at number 3, First Blood are defending their turrets from Shelly when they find members of Polar Race caught out in the jungle. They collapse, but when Tibbs joins the fight, they realize they may have bit off a little more than they could chew, and Polar Race walks away with a 4-for-1.
Be able to pick out Purpose, but not before going down to Tibbs. In fact, Tibbs now launching forward. He's going to get rooted by Karma, but now Gaudier launches backward. The Polymorph comes through. Knock up, barely not going to miss as Mike is able to pick out Ozzy in this backline. You see Gaudier goes down for a double kill for Tibbs. Tibbs flashes forward to get the 3rd Q on the top of Jax. Now we see a little bit of damage. Not quite. Burn comes through. Mike and everyone trying to chase forward. They go for the launch forward on Rampage with B-Tang there. B-Tang gonna be picking up the kill.
Coming in at number 2, Recon 5 are knocking at the door of Grim Legion space when Moody is able to find a well-placed Gragas ultimate onto Ikea. Sandillion doesn't miss a beat, jumping in on Yasuo and securing the Quadra kill, leading his team to victory.
Down, looking for some more PvPs coming out. It's coming through, coming in. Rudy's coming back. He's gonna find the barrel. Looking for Hands of Blood there. He's gonna go through the stop line. He's gonna get himself alive. Double killing for Sandillion. Sandillion's still alive. They can't stop this man at Quadra kill. He's gonna find the ace. They're gonna find the end of this game, and that's gonna be exactly what Recon 5 was looking for.
And finally at number 1, First Blood have their backs against the wall and look to make a comeback play onto Polar Ace's Ozzy and Jack. However, they cannot keep up with the kite and are led straight into the waiting arms of Tibbs, who picks up a stylish pentakill.
Big heal, now looking to turn around. We do see Final Trap come out as Mike is in this back line. Looking to see that's gonna come out. Now Tibbs is in the battle, gonna be able to pick up a kill on Vladimir. He's in the middle of the pressing guard, flashes past and looks back on the rev off to get the double kill. Now goes deep onto Ozzy for the burn to burn through. Triple kill now as he turns to Gaudier for the Quadra. It's gonna happen. Jack is gonna go down for the pentakill on to Tibbs.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of ABL Top Plays. We'll see you next week as we track the league's biggest plays around Summoner's Rift.
All right, and we are back getting into the new series of Dynasty eSports versus White Lotus. And let me tell you, this is definitely one of the games to watch. Dynasty currently undefeated in their series, basically. Yeah, series with the plural. So they're currently, I believe, 6-0. Definitely a little bit behind here on the ABL with our statistics, but they definitely have proven they are the top dog in the league. White Lotus, on the other hand, currently 4th place. Actually, I believe coming off just a while ago, a loss against Recon 5 earlier today. So definitely curious to see how these two teams are going to play in, especially with so many playoff implications out on the Rift.
That it is super important for these teams to take literally every win they possibly can when it comes into the playoff mix. Obviously Dynasty is lossless to this point. I don't even know if they've lost a game quite to this point, but certainly confirming that number 1 seed, confirming that they can get information on all these teams will absolutely help them keep that the same way. Winning against a team like White Lotus too also helps you because this is a team, they want to prove that they can compete to be the top. So if you 2-0 White Lotus right here, that is a bold statement against all the other teams in the league that you will not put up with it.
Oh, what is that? Is that Is that the color caster Rebel Fox? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell everyone here at the ABL that we do have Rebel Fox now here at ABL 1. I, of course, am the same play-by-play caster Z, but he is happy to join me here into this new series as we are about to get into the pick and ban phase of White Lotus versus Dynasty eSports. I'm sorry, Rebel, just had to call out my man.
Yeah, no worries, man. If anyone wants to know how to pronounce Z's name, it's like, imagine if you're sleeping and then you wake up suddenly, you're like, like that's how you, like, it's exactly like that. So that's
all right. All right.
Sudden awaking in Rebel Fox. That's what it is.
Other than that, I think I'm getting a response here from my producer. Possibly not going to be using Pro Draft, maybe. Little bit of technical difficulties as we try to figure this one out. But other than that, definitely looking at this game, like you said earlier, a lot of playoff implications. If White Lotus comes into us, they definitely prove that they're going to be very, very strong. But Dynasty eSports, of course, on the top of the top right now. It's going to be a hard one for White Lotus, but if they can pull this one off, they are going to be a top contender going into playoffs.
That they will. I think there's quite a bit that goes into that kind of thing. And there's frustration if you're both sides for losing. So White Lotus, they like winning a game is White Lotus here. Even just one game is such a, like I said, it's all about statements in this. White Lotus taking even one game off of somebody like Dynasty is fear in the heart of both. I think it's First Blood and Recon that's ahead of them at the moment. You have to think maybe they are still competitive. It doesn't matter where. So I think that's the curiosity. But obviously, again, Dynasty, they don't want to lose any games they don't have to.
Well, with that said, we are finally into the Pro Draft here, seeing the bans finally starting to come out. White Lotus right off the bat taking out the Yuumi. Dynasty responding with a Yasuo.
Yeah, important to take out Yasuo. Yasuo Gragas, or Yasuo bot lane in general, is actually rising in priority. It's very strong in a lot of situations, but certainly Dynasty just doesn't want to have to deal with it. White Lotus, I think they've been pretty adamant about playing it consistently, so willing to take that one away from them, respecting that kind of play style from the side of White Lotus.
Other than that, we do see Zoe from the mid lane and Sejuani picking out here. A lot of these bans really just kind of all over the place. No specific lane, just taking out a lot of those strong picks. But Karma now going to go down as well.
Yeah, Karma has got nerfed a couple of times. It's not like completely devastating to her, although she's not certainly the place she was a couple patches ago. White Lotus is terrified of a poke composition. Taking away Zoe, Yuumi, Karma is just terrible. And then you see team fighters, Sejuani, Morgana, Yasuo for the side of Dynasty just take it off.
Morgana, yep, definitely going out. But White Lotus may have been watching the last series. They're going to be picking out the Kled. I know we just saw an impressive mid lane Kled from DTS, but now we may be returning back into the top lane again with this Kled. Curious to see how they're going to play it up against D-Dog and No One Knows Me.
Yeah.
Other than that, we do see the Jarvan pick coming through from Dynasty.
Kled is an exceptional pick right now in the meta. It counters basically everything that sits in the top lane. Anything with sustain is just torn through by Kled, and it's definitely first pickable. As you said, it can be flexed into the mid lane if necessary, but I want to see it top because this is something that can pressure No One Knows Me, prevent him from getting any sort of advantage in that top lane, puts D-Dog in a much better position than you would expect him to.
Speaking of good positioning, Dynasty going to come through with the Ezreal. Like we were talking about a bit previously, Ezreal has such a free laning phase, as we'd like to call it, has that ability to get in, get out, take the wave, and just scale nicely into that mid to late game. It has a little bit less pressure there due to the subjective damage that relies on a lot of skill shots. But other than that, we do see White Lotus pick up Corki.
Very interesting. So White Lotus currently has those are probably the two top laners at the moment in solo lanes. Kled is the best top laner just objectively, and then Corki is probably up there, if not the top mid laner at the moment. Yeah, don't fall bait to it, Z. Everybody knows
I'm not going to fall bait.
Not fall bait to it.
I'm dreaming it, though.
That's fair. That's fair. Thresh is a good pick as well. It's very strong in the bot lane right now. I think Pyke's a little bit higher priority at the moment, but certainly Thresh is one of those champions that has a lot of benefits of playing him. I also think he brings the most utility of any bot lane support that has that kind of hook style play. No way!
Oh! Did fall bait to it in it.
Nope.
Teemo's gonna. Oh. Dang it. What are they doing over at Dynasty? Bringing my hopes up and then slamming them down.
That's the ultimate punk for you.
So, of course, Dynasty eSports, that's not the TMO. That is, in fact, the Nautilus. Going to be pairing very well with the Ezreal, possibly for some good plays into the mid-late game with that depth charge.
Yeah, response into Thresh as well. But there's quite a bit of engagement that can be had if you throw it into Thresh. I think Nautilus is just more of an oppressive laner than Thresh can be. Like I said, Thresh brings a lot of utility that other hook champions, Pyke, Blitzcrank, Nautilus just doesn't. So I think as a well-rounded champion, Thresh is better. But Nautilus is certainly better for getting aggressive. Certainly a lot better for some of these mid-game skirmishes that kind of looks like Dynasty wants to take with things like the Jarvan. So.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to be playing out here. Other than that, we see all the new 4 brands come through. Irelia, Orianna, Silas, all mid lane. Well, Silas can be flexed a bit, but Irelia can be flexed a bit too. Orianna can be flexed a bit. Neuter Willem, that cannot be flexed. That's a jungle pick. But other than that, they're all going to be taken out here. Curious to see how Dynasty's going to respond. Looking to go with the Gnar.
Okay, now here's the thing, and I'm just theory crafting here. You have a Jarvan to put down terrain. And you have Gnar to throw people into terrain. What do you think Kiana comes out and you play like Kiana with Gnar and Jarvan and you just have the most insane wall stun comp?
It's definitely a possibility. The mid laner
that's a lot of
hasn't
AD
been picked.
The issue. I think it's too much AD. Oh, okay. All right.
Ooh, wife and wife stealer in the bot lane for White Lotus. Lucian Thresh coming out. Ooh. These are some interesting picks. I would love to see the aggressive jungling on that Kha'Zix if White Lotus goes through with it. You definitely know what they're going to be looking for if they lock this one in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just aggressive across the board. You're talking Thresh, Lucian, Corki, Kled, and Kha'Zix. A lot of K noises in that, but certainly... Oh, you had to ruin the K noises with Xin Zhao. Same idea as the Kha'Zix, basically, but gives it a little bit better team fight presence. So you can knock away things like the Gnar if he tries to jump in, or the Ezreal. You can prevent damage from coming through.
We'll say Crescent Guard can do so much work if you play around it well. But other than that, Dynasty going to be finishing out the draft here with the Taliyah.
Yeah. Good mid laner, roams pretty well, especially alongside Corki. I think Corki has a little bit better wave clear, but certainly he has to respect the damage of Taliyah, and Taliyah can roam much more consistently than a Corki can. So expect the presence of Kessler around the map at least a little bit more than Jock in this game.
No need to tear up, Rebel Fox, but other than that, I do want to touch on a little of these matchups. Of course, we saw the Gnar get picked out in the top side against this Kled, and a big thing there is it's a great counter, especially early game when you have a lot of this potential to poke through with the Gnar, and then later you can come through with some oppressive team fights. But that doesn't mean Kled is a sleeper. You do know he'll come through with the charge at some point and make for an impressive engage for White Lotus, especially if they want to go so hard in with a package Corki or Xin Zhao looking to rely into the Crescent Guard.
Yeah, you have a lot of ways to kick off fights. There's now tons of ridiculous hard engage from the side of White Lotus, which is where I think their struggle will come through. But certainly you have, if you start to snowball ahead, somebody like Kled and Corki and Xin Zhao that can go forward, that can be aggressive when they move forward, is going to be something fun to watch, especially against Jarvan and Taliyah, who can kite backwards a little bit better.
And that's definitely something we're looking for here at the ABL. Something fun to watch. These teams are competing, but we are looking for a little bit of entertainment. And entertained I will be watching this Jarvan and Xin Zhao duke it out. They have such a similar sort of playstyle that they want to get with. Jarvan, of course, looking to enact the Cataclysm in a big team fight. Xin Zhao looking to get Crescent Guard and go in hard with the defense that it ensues. I'm curious to see who's going to place out. They both essentially come online right around the same time, relying a lot on that 6 engage.
Yeah, to me, I think Xin Zhao is a lot more kind of pigeonholed into a carry style. You can go a little bit more tanky with things like Seeker's Arm Guard and things like that to try to get yourself at least more protected. But certainly, my apologies, I said Seeker's Arm. I meant Jarm's Fist, things like that. Jarm's Fist item, that's AP. He doesn't build AP. But I think Xin Zhao duels a lot better than Jarvan in the early game. I think his ganks are a little weaker post 6, and he doesn't scale tankily. So it really is a lot of Jason jungle in the early game versus Dorjin can scale. That doesn't mean Dorjin can't gank to start with or can't fight Xin Zhao to start with. It's just I think Xin Zhao has more presence and has more agency first 10, 15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, definitely do think that's going to be something that we'll have to watch out for. But team fight wise, we'll definitely see some of a similar play style. But other than that, looking in this mid lane, we of course are going to be looking at Jock, Buffton on the Corki, and Kessler rocking through with the Talia. Both a bit of that roaming mid laner. They have their strengths, they have their pros, they have their cons, but they are very similar in the specific playstyle that they both enact.
Yeah, they both have pretty consistent AP damage. Corki, of course, is that like hyper scaling ADC who like builds full crit and then also does magic damage. Whereas Talia is a little bit more of a control mage in that, you know, her Q does consistent damage, but she has burst with the W, the E, the zone that she can have, and then her wall obviously is the epitome of her kit, allows her to roam around the map, do some cool things. Talia, if she gets snowballing, can do some ridiculous damage, especially with a full combo, even into somebody like Corki or Xinjiao or Kled. So I think Talia's E is really the move to watch in this one. Jarvan and Gnar can really impact people's positioning, and Kessler has enough range that, like, you know, Kled has to be close, Corki is mid-range, Xinjiao's pretty close to, even Lucian is relatively low range, so Talia has the space she has to work with. We see somebody drop out of draft here.
Looking like there's a bit of an issue. It seems like Dynasty is saying that their ADC was not... Okay, so it looks like draft going to be restarted up here. We're going to have a bit more time to talk about through these picks. Sorry about that, folks, for a bit of that technical difficulty. Going to get back into that, but shifting our new attention down to the bot lane, of course, Lucian, Thresh, Wife Stealer, and we do have, of course, Ezreal, Nautilus. I do think Dynasty has a bit of the safer play style in this early game, and then into the team fights, you can capitalize off so much through the Nautilus with depth charge and the hook and the pull, but that does not mean Thresh is nothing to sleep on. He has the hook and the box can do so. Lucian as well, playing off that with the culling and being such an oppressive pick. This bot lane could go either way, but I do think laning phase will typically favor Dynasty if White Lotus doesn't really get in there with that early Lucian pressure.
Yeah, I think where the Nautilus either succeeds or fails is in the success of his team composition and in the success of him individually. So if they're losing and he tries to pull a hook or he does something just too aggressive, he will be blown up by a Lucian and a Kled and a Corki, because there's no, you don't build super tanky on a Nautilus. You build, you have the shield, you have health, especially in support. You're not going to have tons of armor, tons of magic resist, so you get blown up pretty heavily. You are really just an engage machine at that position. So if you're losing, Lucian, Corki, Kled, they're going to blow you up. But if you're winning, all you need to do is hit a hook, hit your depth charge, you're done. That fight is pretty much won for your side, especially with something like Talia and Gnar and Jarvan to have that backup engage, have that backup fight split. So really, again, I think it's just, as you said, how does the bot lane go? Do they win? If they win, Nautilus is going to be amazing. If they lose, it's going to be a lot harder to pull it off, where to me, Thresh is a lot more consistent. He's not going to pop off entirely. He can still hit hooks, still get good waves, but he doesn't really set up team fights the way Nautilus does. But in return, you get a lot more consistent play, a lot lower cooldowns on a lot of your abilities, and you have the ability to reposition people with your E, with your W, that kind of thing.
I will say this matchup is very close in terms of how each team wants to play it out. There's a lot of potential for both of these teams to come through and capitalize on their specific picks, but we do have to acknowledge as a whole each player's specific skill level. White Lotus, of course, has been down in the standings and has not found quite the victories that they needed. They're, of course, coming off a 0-2 loss here just a few moments ago against Recon 5. So they're already down. And I'm curious to see how that will affect them as they go up against Dynasty, which is considered one of the strongest teams in the ABL right now. It is definitely an uphill battle. They, in my opinion, have to just put it all behind them. They're coming off a loss. They're a bit down. They need to push that away and refocus all their mentality on what can be considered such a drastic opponent. Because like you said, it's all about the messages that you send right now. Even one game is enough to start your ascent towards playoff victory.
That is correct. And the one positive thing about White Lotus in this game is, while, yeah, you would almost always favor Dynasty in this situation. It's hard not to favor Dynasty in any game or series that they're in. But there's a lot of positive for White Lotus in this one. I think that their composition is difficult to team fight with, but all of their lanes have advantage. I think Kled is a fantastic counter to Gnar in a lot of ways. He is one of the few that can not only engage onto Mini-Gnar very easily and follow up and engage with that Q, but also he can fight him in his Mega form because he has that percentage damage, has that attack speed to be able to take a fight against Mega Gnar, even if he gets put into a wall. As I said before, also, Lucian Thresh, good early game alongside a Xin Zhao, can really do some damage, can really have that impact. So I think if Jason Jungle gets involved, and if Kled kind of does Kled things and is able to beat this Gnar in lane, they could not have to worry about losing team fights because they're far enough ahead. If they can get to that point where Corki and Lucian start to really pump out damage, and Xin Zhao can be a little bit of a frontliner, soak some of the damage from Ezreal Talia, I think it becomes hard for No One Knows Me to get in on Gnar, for Dorjan to engage, and as I said before, Nautilus to engage at all without just getting blown up in first. I think that's where they have to go. It's really a lot on Jason Jungle's shoulders to be able to have that advantage, but I think it's capable of being done, and I want to see a team like the White Lotus really take it to them with a composition like this that can snowball early and win the game, just being decisive.
Yeah, it's definitely something we're watching out for. Dynasty is on top of such a high pedestal right now. And if there is someone we're looking to knock them down, the bull that is White Lotus can come crashing through the China shop and bring down what is the beast that is Dynasty eSports. But that doesn't mean Dynasty eSports is not a beast that you have to deal with. There's, of course, so much pressure in all these lanes that can be capitalized. It's just all about the windows you play around. Gnar with Rage into the Gnar ultimate. Jarvan coming through with the Cataclysm in these team fights to play so well into that knockup in that series there. Talia, of course, Weaver's Wall can make such an aggressive playstyle, especially in the mid lane, making use of that roaming potential and extra XP gain that you get. And, of course, Ezreal Nautilus there with the engage. Ezreal just being as slippery as a fizz almost, just being able to get out and just pump some damage from long range poke. So it's not just up there for White Lotus. This is, of course, probably one of the strongest uphill battles. They're not Recon 5. They're not First Blood Marauders. They are White Lotus. But that does not mean they don't have a chance. Everything is out on the table as we approach playoffs here, and they definitely are a contender.
That's the case. I also look at this composition from Dynasty, and honestly, this is like a pro caliber coordination necessary team. You're talking Nautilus can get blown up very early. Talia and Ezreal are both very skill shot reliant in terms of their damage. Jarvan can get blown up early if he builds AD or if he builds tanky. He relies on somebody following up. And Gnar is one of the hardest team fighting champions to play in the game. Managing that rage bar, making sure you can get a solid ultimate off, and getting into a fight in general is just difficult to do. Dynasty, if they can pull this off, it is a huge statement for what they are.
I will say the facts are all out. Every analysis to be said has been said. And as we get into game one here of the series between White Lotus versus Dynasty eSports, spirits may be broken, or we may see the beast slowly emerge from his cage as we approach playoffs. But with that, we're going to be taking a short break as we go to our spectator delay. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Getting into game one here of Dynasty eSports versus White Lotus. But before any of the action can take place, I do want to give some short announcements. We, of course, have bets going on in the chat right now. All you have to do is type in !bet, the team's names, and the amount of points you'd like to bet. Whoever wins the bets at the end of the season will be receiving a prize. Other than that, you just have to type in DYN for Dynasty and WL for White Lotus. And I would also love to bring up the fact that our production team would love and support and cherish anybody who gives us a donation, a subscriber, or even a follow. All that support goes directly to us and makes our day any time of the week. But
Hey,
with
Z.
that, we're already in hot to this game.
Hey Z, real quick question. If I follow or subscribe or anything, is there anything in it for me beyond just supporting the team?
Minions have spawned.
Do I get points toward the contest?
You get more points towards the contest. This is information I did not know. I will say, if you do subscribe and follow, apparently you get more points towards the contest. So I guess that helps y'all. Y'all want to win some prizes at the end. You'll get a little bit more of the moolah to bet.
We're also looking for a new play-by-play just to replace. It's
Okay, all right. No need. Looking at Dynasty here. Hook missing from the Nautilus. Oh, look at that whip from Phoenix, smacking him back. He tells him that's not gonna happen. But I do think red buff is gonna go down here.
That it is. A couple Kleptomancy procs does go over to Ezreal. He sits with 60 gold now in his pocket. Oh, a hook. Never mind. Not gonna follow it.
Not gonna follow it. Very close though. Ooh.
Another hook.
Dog gonna get the pull back on No One Knows Me. Like you said early, he has all the pressure to capitalize directly. So I'm curious to see how he's gonna be playing this one out as we get into this game. It's definitely up in the air.
Absolutely. Also, we're going to see these hook champions all game. We have Kled, we have Thresh, we have Nautilus, so everybody's going to be hitting hooks left and right. I'm excited to see which ones stick, which ones kind of mean anything. So,
hey, hooks are what brings League of Legends to a full circle. You need the hook to win the game, so I'm curious to see who's going to be the one. It's the series of hooks, everybody. Could it be Thresh? Could it be Nautilus? Could it even be Kled with that weird rope bear claw thing he pulls out? But other than that, we are looking to see who's going to make the first influence here. Dorjan and Jason Jungle, we talked a lot about that early influence. Jason Jungle already making a move here into Raptors on the enemy side.
taking away that red buff, going towards this vertical jungling style. They both kind of look like they took away the opponent's red buff, and then they're just coming right back to it. Oh, no. Okay. So Dorjan took his own red buff? Why doesn't Jason have his? Okay, never mind. Doesn't matter.
Ooh, speaking of Jason, looking to go in on Kessler here. She goes in the bush. She's going to get the knockback. The damage comes through. Kessler picking up first blood for Dynasty.
Yeah, really well-placed W right there. Also, 2 Dark Harvest stacks now onto this Talia. Really
Big
smart
damage on the top. No One Knows Me going to be proccing the Scarl off of Dita.
Not super easy to get it back. That's a wanted, like a ranged champion into Quet, especially in this matchup.
Ooh, good knock back there. He's able to get out, but tripped your attention to the bot lane. Bishop going to get an amazing hook. Now we see Dorjan with the knock up on the Flag and Drag. Ignite coming through on Phoenix Aura. Ooh, but the poke is not there for the follow-up. So close back and forth right now.
Action all over the place. Again, I think it's difficult for D-Dog to try to remount, especially against this Gnar. It's just too easy for Gnar to kite away from him.
Very close on Corki there in the mid lane. Gonna see possible double engage here. Jason coming at him again. Flashes forward on top of Kessler. He's gonna return to the same bush, but now Dorjan's in the back line. The Flag and Drag just to auto jock Buffton to his death.
Oh, the W
Jason is gonna get pulled back. He's gonna try to go deep on Kessler, but the barrier saves him, and Jason goes down.
God, that has to be such a tilter if you're Jason Jungle. He has now ganked this Talia twice and lost both fights, giving away, I think, 3 Dark Harvest stacks and 2 kills over to this Talia.
Oh,
that is a terrifying prospect.
That is definitely something you do not want to play into. And of course, Dorjan now getting a little bit ahead on the Jarvan, the early game champion that definitely has some potential as he approaches 6 and is going to have that Cataclysm online.
Yeah, that he will, absolutely. D-Dog getting closer to remounting here, so that'll be a positive for him to work with.
Ooh, D-Dog, he wants to go in. He does get the remount. He's going to go forward with the Q here, but not before Poke comes down. W, Otto's coming through. He has to flash to get away. Ooh, Dorjin wants to make a play here, but just not quite in the position. Flash forward, just barely no one knows gets out. Now we see Dorjin coming in, trying to auto D-Dog to his death. May he do it. Dorjin's just barely one auto. Oh! D-Dog barely gets out. Dorjin does not hit the final auto. Has to get out of turret range.
Yeah, Corgi's here. He could clean this up really easily if he's able to find a couple of...
He dashes forward. No one knows. Taken incredibly. Doc Buffton gonna pick up that kill. Dorjin goes through with the flag and drag to get a knock up. He's able to get out of that one very clean.
Yeah, no flash there from Jock Buffton to be able to follow Dorjin on that, but certainly good roam there from Jock on the Skorky, able to find the kill onto Gnar. That was...
Ooh, good hook here on to Phoenixzar. We see the flight come back. He's going to try to hook, but he hits a minion. Phoenixzar is going to be taken low. Looking to see if Bishop's going to capitalize. He does. He goes forward with the Essence Pluck. Low Sudoku is pulling him out. Q comes through. Ignite. The damage just burns. Now D1 Nick is trying to get out. He's walking. The Poke's coming in. Good hook, but it doesn't need to hit because a double kill goes down for Lokidoski.
Yeah, absolute punishment there. Bishop just getting way too over-aggressive, overestimating his damage, trying to find something. It looked like he tried to isolate the Lucian away from the Thresh, which wasn't a terrible option because Thresh was gone. But there's no follow-up from D1 Nick. All of his cooldowns were blown. He had nothing left in the tank to be able to contribute. And then Lucian started getting his cooldowns back and just popped Ezreal because he has no damage. He had no tankiness really at that point. Really solid play. Lokidosi just staring down the barrel, and he's able to make it work.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see Lokidosi just sit back there and just continually pump out the damage without trying to flee away. I definitely think if he went for that, Bishop would have capitalized and gone for the consistent poke and just ended his day so quickly.
Yeah, made it a lot easier for him to... committing to something like that is always a hard decision, and when you mess it up, you feel really bad, but certainly Lokidosi, like I said, stared down the barrel, was willing to live with his decision, and it worked out perfectly. Now 2 kills up over the Ezreal, and Ezreal doesn't even... keeps up with a call.
Good engage on No One Knows Me. Wow. D-Dog possibly wants to keep this up. Oh, Skarl's going to have to run away for another day.
Yeah, that's really, really not good. He's about to Gnar out.
D-Dog taken incredibly no, but now Mega Gnar, it's almost up. He goes for the Gnar ultimate. He's gonna get the stun down, and that's a solo kill as No One Knows picks up.
Yeah, really close duel. Actually, he was about to get Skarl back on the side of D-Dog, but damage just came out a little bit too fast from No One Knows Me. Again, these duels are all super close all across the map constantly, and like, this game is on a nice edge. It could be very easily 8 kills to either side. Instead, it's about 4-3 right now.
Speaking of on the edge, though, Ocean Drake taken to the edge of his death. Gonna be the first dragon for Dynasty.
Jock, not getting aggressive on. It's all good.
Jock just knows how to get out real quick. Pull out mechanics, you know? Ooh, D1 gonna get hooked here. The box comes down. He's slowed too much. He tries the hook and root, but Lokidosi finishes it off.
Yeah, just getting the better of him. Again, a little too aggressive a positioning there from D1 Nick. They saw him run up into the brush. I'm not sure why he didn't expect the hook to come out. Caught him from around the corner, but White Lotus finding some success really, really well here in the bot lane. 3 kills on this Lucian is huge, especially for this mid game that's coming up. You can definitely fight into the Gnar and the Jarvan. Plenty of range to work, not tons of range to work with outside the Ezreal. So really, really good job from White Lotus here.
Speaking of the range, Dorjin here on the side wants to go in. We do get the hook on to Bishop here. Oh, flash comes through as he gets out of Cataclysm from Dorjin. Lokidosi poking him out as he runs away.
Absolutely. And we got to see. So not a terrible attempt there. I like that reset there from Dorjin to allow Ezreal to come back to lane if he wants it back, because he certainly needs some more damage. He needs something to come back into this lane with, because he can't just work with the Cull right now.
Ooh, I will say, Lokidosi and Phoenixzar have 6. Bishop is not there. Phoenixzar getting that hook plate comes through and ignite. Lokidosi, so much damage so quickly. Gonna pick up another kill.
Yeah. Again, just weird pathing there from Bishop. He wasn't sure where the Thresh was. All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where the Thresh...
Almost. Well, definitely looks like bot lane turret playing is going to be counting down here. The gold is playing its way out onto the rift now. Lokidosi making great plays. Ooh, Jock buffed in. Just barely getting in time there for No One Knows Me.
Absolutely. Should be able to prevent anything like that from going down. Now, there's a pretty rough trap coming on here because Dorjan's taking this Rift Scuttler, and Talia's able to roam up here, so they're in a very bad position.
D-Dog, like you said, in a very bad position. He's going to pull forward, but Dorjan comes through with the knockup. Now we see Weaver's wall on this backside. He's going to try to get away with the blast gun, but he's going to go down. Mega Gnar coming through. The damage rips through as Kessler finishes the job.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Now, Rift Herald is relatively free, but Corki is able to push out mid lane. Jin Zhao and Thresh are both sitting around the area as well, so they could contest if they really, really wanted to.
Ooh, it definitely looks like that's going to be an option. We see the hook coming through here. Good double play onto Dorjan. Crescent Guard now on this backside, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh.
Jason Jungle's taken down. Now we have Jock Buffton on the side here, trying to poke through. The bubble flash comes in as he finishes off No One Knows Me. And Thresh comes through with the whip to finish off Dorjan, but not before Kessler gets Jock Buffton. Woo!
Yeah. Ends up being
Lucian in the bot lane. Nick
Oh.
stepping up too close. Jeez, no respect for that power.
And what's going on? There was a hook. There was an ultimate ready for the Nautilus right there. What happened? Burn anything. He has flash. He has ignite. Like why? He just wasn't expecting Lucian to auto him to death if he walks under tower like that.
It's a lack of respect. That's all I can say. It's a lack of respect. Good plays from White Lotus. Definitely that bot lane looking very strong. 5-0 on the Lucian. Definitely a star player to watch out for in this match now. You have to respect him. Look at him step forward. Get that burst clean on Bishop.
Yeah, 2/3 of the health bar from Bishop gone now too. He probably has to walk at least away from the tower. Might be able to confirm a few more plates here before they go down for Lokidosi. If not, maybe the tower even.
True shot. Barrage looking to clean out the wave there, but doesn't look like it's going to do much help. Down to one last turret playing. Lokidosi probably going to be picking that one up. Ooh. You know, there's nothing that you can't sleep on in this matchup, and I know we talked a lot about that bot lane just a second ago as they're slowly picking up this turret here, but Kessler in the mid, 4-0 on the Talia. So powerful, already on the Luden's Echo at 12 minutes.
Yeah, her and the Lucian are really the two big carries in the game so far, and I think it's really not going to change for the rest of it. Corki could end up getting there as well, but we have to see.
Jeez, good Gnar ultimate on
Goodness.
D-Dog. No follow-up, though. No One Knows Me knows it's running out, and he can't commit.
Rift Herald being secured here from Dorjan as well. That's a really easy pickup. Now, 4 people on the top side of the map could definitely dive a Kled without Skarl. That is a terrible place to be if you are D-Dog. He's just stuck there right now.
Oh, no, D-Dog. You've got the Herald coming in. It's going to tank this turret. Everybody here.
He's just to run out.
Skarl up. He wants Skarl up. We see depth charge coming through. He's gonna pick up Skarl, but he's knocked up so quickly, and the damage just comes so quick like a hammer. Dorjan's gonna pick that one up.
Yeah, but he bought enough time now for this mid lane rotation, so now Lucian, Corki, and Thresh should be able to secure mid lane in response, and Rift Herald might die off. Yeah, Rift Herald actually died off during the top lane push. This is really bad, actually, for the side of Dynasty. They gave up way too much in the mid lane.
Kessler trying to protect this one out. The box comes through. Calling not making it shots, but does flash forward from Jason Jungle. Finally getting revenge in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick off, Kessler Rare. That's a huge shutdown, 750 gold to Jason Jungle, and then 4 plates as well, or now 5 plates, as well as this tower in the mid lane. That was really good rotation from White Lotus, and fantastic from D-Dog, stalling out 4 people
about
in a
rotation. Dorjan trying to go hard on the Jock Buffton, but the Lantern save from Phoenix R, and Dorjan is going to get hit so hard for his mistake.
That's the utility. That's what Thresh is really for. That Lantern pulls out Corki, makes sure he doesn't go down, and then he hooks and prevents the additional engage from Dorjan long enough at least.
Lokidosi. Oh, he can't go completely in. The teleport now coming in. Jeez. If that teleport wasn't up, I'm going to tell you, Bishop, that was the end.
Yeah, that absolutely was. Terrifying that Lokidosi staring him down with the Blade of the Rune King and, what is it, the attack speed boosts, Berserker Creeps, that's what they're called, into just a Muramana and a Sheen Ezreal. a terrible place to be. Yeah, burn TP, and then an immediate lane rotation from Corki. So he's going to be able to try to poke out this Gnar in the laning phase with no armor or no magic resist to speak of. That's a good lane assignment right there, personally. Also, they have Ezreal into Kled at the moment, which is terrible lane assignment.
Ooh, quick notification though, we do have someone who followed. Axum Lowell, thank you for the support. We always appreciate that here at the ABL. Keep it coming, guys. We always love any support that we receive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Ooh, good clearing on the vision here from Jason Jungle. They're taking strong priority. White Lotus definitely making the moves here, shutting down the beast maybe.
Yeah,
With some potential.
Collapse from Dynasty into the mid lane there. I don't know who's around or what they're going to be able to do.
Phoenix Aura makes the hook come through. He gets over the wall with the flash. Crescent Guard now in the back line. D1 Nick is going to get the stun as we see True Shot Barrage. He picks up the kill on Phoenix Aura as Culling hits no one.
Yeah, phenomenal hook right there, but they weren't able to get Ezreal. They burned his flash, which is very rare to see. Like, Ezreal flashes are some of the, like, they're not great cooldowns, but you don't see them burn very often. But that was a phenomenal hook from Phoenix Aura. It just couldn't be followed up by anybody, and then great response from the side of Dynasty to be able to follow up on that hook from the opposite side and get a kill onto him. That was really, really well done.
Dynasty pushing in here. They're looking to take this mid lane turret, but not before we have Jason Jungle in the back line trying to get on Nick. Nick has to flash. What comes through? Good Cataclysm to take him out, but now Jock Buffton and Lokadusty are on the hunt. They flash forward. That's going to be a death for my boy Dorjan. Now they turn onto Kessler. He knocks him back, but it's not going to be enough as we see D-Dog dash forward for the kill. Jock Buffton gets it with a burn instead, though.
Yeah. No collapse there from the rest of Dynasty. They had Gnar and Ezreal in the two side lanes. Just fantastic collapse from White Lotus, able to get good engagement from Jason Jungle. The seismic shoves from Kessler have been absolutely on point all game, but it just wasn't enough in that fight to prevent the damage from coming out. Couldn't get Lokadosi either on the back end of it. So kind of a shame for Dynasty. Going to lose a mid tower as well for, I don't think, anything. Maybe bot tower, but I don't think that was worth the trade whatsoever.
Definitely not worth.
Dynasty. Yeah.
Good vision play by White Lotus, but I gotta say, now Jock Buffton in the mid lane on that Corki finished Trinity 4-2. Gonna pick up the Sork shoes as well as a BF here on this back. He's definitely the objective you've got to watch out for in the mid lane. He's gonna start pumping out so much damage. There's a necessary respect for him now. We saw in that mid lane fight, he was able to do so much work, and as a result, he's definitely one of the supreme carries. Dynasty making some crucial mistakes right now. Ooh, yeah. Flashed. I mean, dash forward from Bishop. We see D-Dog doesn't go in. He's gonna lose it, but Jason Juck comes through with the Crescent Guard to finish off the kill. Now Nick on this backside. Ooh, Crescent Guard to get away. Jock Buffton finishes it. Kessler killed now for a double kill on Jock Buffton. He's gonna be chasing him out, trying to see if he can finish the job. Ooh, Dorjan is just too fast. Oh, Phoenix Aura flashes forward. He's gonna get the flay on top of him. Stun comes through as no one knows, but he goes down for almost a triple kill on Jock. Like I said, you gotta watch out. He just came back. He's so strong.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Not to mention that he just picked up like 2 additional kills or 3 additional kills on this Corki, so he's going to be even stronger. But this is even smarter from White Lotus. You see this insane re-engage from them. They somehow were able to sneak in, I think it was Jason Jungle, randomly into that fight. He gets in and gets out the back without going
Cataclysm
down.
Double on Phoenix and Lokadosi, but not before Dorjan goes so quickly down. Phoenix Aura is gonna try to get out here, but Ezreal's doing so much damage and work. Phoenix and Lokadosi gonna get both taken down for a double kill. He's trying to poke back, but D-Dog goes back in for the easy Slayer. Now he comes through with charge to try to launch on the Kessler. He's gonna lose Scarl, but it's not gonna be enough as we see Jock Buffton flash forward. Then he knocks forward and he goes so low for a double kill on Kessler with the bomb.
I don't think Kessler can...
Oh, Jason Jungle just in the right position to finish off Kessler.
Feels bad.
Jeez, 4 men down both teams.
Just consistent re-engaging from both teams is so clean. It's not even mistakes being made. It's just not being prepared for the other team's massive engage. Kessler also, I seriously don't think he's missed the seismic shove this entire game. These are, you saw right there, that was a 2v1 that he should have lost. That seismic shove gets him 2 kills instead. Absolutely gorgeous play from him on the right now.
Damage. Oh man, that's something to put them back into the game. Kessler going to do so much work now, making his way towards the Rabadon's death cap. He has the completed Medjai's. The Ludens is ready to pump out some work. Curious to see as they let this game go on longer. Dynasty may play back into this. They're still the beast. They're still on the pedestal. White Lotus has to respect them to a degree.
That they do. In fact, honestly, they're the ones with quite a bit of the pacing in the game. This Xin Zhao combined with the Kled in the backline just have so much survivability and disruption that can prevent the damage coming out from, again, it's all about Xin Zhao preventing damage coming out from Ezreal and from Talia before anybody else can come through.
Oh no. Jock buffed in, going in hard on Bishop here. He's gonna hit the damage. He's burning through. The bomb doesn't hit, but the rocket barrage does. That's so much damage. Ooh, Jason Jungle gonna try to get in there. Good flag and drag though from Dorjan to get out.
Yeah. Really unfortunate right now for Bishop. He's just being bullied by basically everybody on the map. Everyone feels stronger than him right now. The only benefit he brings to the team is that his Qs, his Ws are a lot safer than most of the damage that can come out. So if they find a good engage with the Gnar, with the Jarvan, he can put in some damage.
Ooh, teleport coming through here. Gonna have everyone ready to fight this one out. Jock buffing down in the bottom here, taking out a ton of damage on the No One Knows Me. Ooh. Close to a strong engage there, let me tell you.
That it is. This Infinity Edge build also, it spikes on 3 items. So this is, like, when Jock Buffton finishes his third, probably Rapid Fire Cannon, he's going to be insane. Oh,
Kessler! Jeez, taking down 1/3 of his health is just gone in an instant. Jock is doing so much damage now with the completed Infinity Edge.
No one has MR. No one has built an ounce of MR on this team right now. He's staring through them. What are you doing?
Damage! What are you guys doing? Now we see the charges play through in this backline. Dorjan's got to escape, but the hook comes on here. Nick's going to pick up a kill as everyone's slowly getting ripped through. That's 4 members of Dynasty down, and now that base is looking juicy. They're making a full attempt here with the wave. Everyone's lining up. Ooh, Kessler, can he make the defense? D-Dog is going to go deep into this backline to try to prevent him from stepping up on the wave and getting the clear. That's 1 Nexus turret and 1 missed hook from Phoenix. Seismic shove to do a ton of damage on the Jock Buffton, but not before Loki Dosi steps up. But Nexus, it's burning through half health. And that's going to be game 1. Talk about the message that White Lotus has just sent. The beast is down. The pedestal is broken. The bull came through the China shop. And White Lotus takes 1 game in the series against them. And we got to wait and see if they can finish it off possibly in the 2-0 and bring down the beast.
That was incredible from White Lotus. Literally every single time I see a play happen, I'm trying to think, oh, how does Dynasty come back? Oh, how does White Lotus, like, take this into the next play after play after play? They took the positive, or when they lost something, they'd get something back. There was never a play that went completely negative for them or completely just against them. Lokidosi was a beast in this one. Jock scaled up again. No magic resist. Where's your magic resist? You got torn through by this Corki. The missiles, the autos were doing so much damage. Didn't matter that, like, D-Dog wasn't really doing much, or that, like, you had, like, Jason Jungle on this the Xin Zhao that's really aggressive. The 2 of them worked perfectly as a front line and just let Jock and Lokidosi do so much damage. Also, Phoenix Aura had some amazing hooks, some amazing lanterns too. This whole team, that's shocking right there. That was a shocking win.
Dynasty eSports looking very shaky here in game 1. Definitely going to be curious if they're going to come back from this in game 2, possibly take us to a 3rd series. It's all out on the table right now as we slowly approach playoffs, but we've got to take a short break as we get ourselves into game 2. So stay tuned as we look to see ourselves in a fiery game 2. All right, and we are back after an exciting game 1 between Dynasty eSports versus White Lotus. I believe, I'm going to tell you right now, Rebel, I think that is the 3rd game this season that Dynasty has lost. They've yet to lose a series. They're still undefeated, but that may be tonight. White Lotus may come through and show us something new.
And what's surprising is like, it's fine to take a game off of someone every once in a while, but that looked ridiculously dominant from the side of White Lotus. Like, the more and more I play it back in my head, I just cannot keep imagining just how well Lokidosi and Phoenixor played that bot lane. And you got to make changes if you're on the side of Dynasty, because that could very easily happen again.
Well, changes are what we'll see. Dynasty Sports versus White Lotus up here. Looking to see these first couple bans. Yasuo, Thresh, Yumi, Zoe coming out. Very similar to what we started with, but now they're respecting Aura a little bit, taking away the Thresh.
Yeah. That means Morgana's left, and then there's White Lotus banning away Morgana. So that means Karma is left up.
Yeah. Phoenix R can definitely come through with that. Oh, Dynasty eSports now going to take a little bit of a message out of Jock Buffton. They're going to run with the Corki this time. Curious to see if that's going to play their victory. Maybe it's just Corki. Maybe it's just Corki that led everyone to... Maybe that's just what did it for them.
It's very safe pick. It's something that you can play. Like I said, it's first pickable in that it's flexible in any single lane whatsoever. So I'm not shocked to see it.
Ooh. Yeah, we just saw this combo a few games ago, earlier tonight, back TFT versus other team. But to just go into it, other than that, Kai'Sa and Nautilus are really strong. They do take some time to scale up, but especially in that early 6, you have a bit of the power with the passive as you play into it. A bit of the items come through. You got the Rage Blade coming out to get the damage. Nautilus with the depth charge can be so aggressive. If White Lotus wants to pick someone off, they definitely have chosen the bot lane for the job.
That's the case. Now, also, I think this Nautilus pickup kind of pigeonholes them into taking something melee. With Morgana off the field, if they pick something that's like Enchanter or ranged, it's going to be too squishy to deal with the Kai'Sa and the Nautilus. And Sivir just doesn't have the burst damage to deal with the Kai'Sa and a Nautilus early in the game. Yeah, instead, just going to opt for Jarvan here. That makes a lot of sense. A couple of really strong champions. Literally, Corki, Sivir, Jarvan are like 3 of the top champions at each of their roles. So that's super clean draft from Dynasty so far.
And they definitely have the power. Got to look at White Lotus here on their last pick, but especially their bans. Like you said, you want to see if they're going to be picking somewhat of a more safe tank pick in this bot lane so that they can scale a bit better. So looking at those bans, of course.
And there's Clyde coming out. Okay. Makes sense for White Lotus. Worked really well for D-Dog last game. Now has the option to kind of ban out champions that he doesn't like against it. So that's pretty nice. They had that last game as well. So might look for that. See junglers being taken away from White Lotus as well.
Nunu, Willump, Sejuani, those going down. White Lotus even banning a jungler here themselves, for what I assume. It looks like the Kha'Zix, not confirmed yet, but it could go down. Oh, instead they go with a little bit of the prediction that we brought up here a second ago. The fact that they need someone a bit tanky in the bot lane. Ooh, yes. But they instead opt out for the Akali.
That's fair. At least they're considering it in the back of their mind. I think what they want to prevent is anyone from just popping Kai'Sa immediately. That's why they kind of hovered Kha'Zix to start with. Then decided maybe it wasn't priority for Dynasty. So then they start looking, oh, what can we protect the Kai'Sa with in terms of, and then they think lane, and they're like, okay, Akali's still up. Akali's something they've played. Got to get that off the board first.
Definitely an interesting draft here between the two teams so far. You can tell they're really, really thinking it. Whoever's behind that. Ooh, looking to see what this pick is. Apparently, is what Proctogen's coming through. It's an Olaf ban, yes. So that's an Olaf ban from Dynasty. White Lotus hovering the Braum pick. Hovering the Braum.
They're probably just trolling. Nautilus can play mid lane. It was something that he played a little bit a while ago. He does shut down Corki pretty excessively. I think that would point to... Okay, no, yeah, not gonna worry about it. Okay.
Silas. That ultimate is gonna be so devastating if they pick it through with the Jarvan or even the Braum, possibly. Glacial Fissure and Cataclysm can do so much work here.
That it can. That's quite a bit of really good team composition. They don't even need anything else, really. They could use a tank in the top lane. I think something good into Kled, definitely like Malphite. Malphite could work really well into this composition, unless they just want to go pure 1v1, take it side lane. All right, they're going to go pure 1v1 and take it side lane. Yeah.
All right, Fior, the Grand Duelist, coming through. Kled gonna have a little bit of a time there, but that's exactly what Kled wants to do. He wants to duel. He wants to make you think you're winning, and then he has Skarl come out of the bushes and say, surprise.
That is the case. Now we got to see what this last pick is. Oh, come on,
Come on.
do it.
Come on, White Lotus.
Come on.
Yes! Quinn coming through for White Lotus. That's going to be a strong pick. It's going to see how that's going to play through. Ooh, I'm excited. The blinds, the movement around the map. Quinn can make so much work of this team if you play it right. Not very meta, but definitely something you can work with.
So I think Quinn is really low-key OP at the moment. The
Sleeper
reason
agent.
why is she counters two things really, really well. Number one, she's too bursty and has a lot of range into mages. Things like Corki and Azir, all of those kinds of champions. She's very good against because she has her own engage. She has her own blind that can prevent damage from coming out from both Azir and Corki. And she has enough of that roaming potential that if she starts losing lane, she can be around. The other thing she counters is assassins. Things like this Fiora, she can do really well against. Or even Jarvan, she can disrupt his his ability to move around just by kind of using that E in the proper timing. It's a really good pick. I think it's low-key OP at the moment, and I really, really respect White Lotus for testing something like this out in the open.
Yeah, definitely something. Well, Jock, if it's Jock on it, Jock has been known to play Quinn in the past, so it's not a surprising pick. It's just very interesting to go with it. It isn't something you'll usually see. I'm curious how it's going to play into Kessler, if that's where it's going against that Corki in the mid, because I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to be lining up to be played.
Like I said, with something like a Jarvan, I think it's difficult to get a gank attempt off onto this Quinn. Like Jarvan has to hit a perfect EQ, knock it like countered by this Quinn E, and then Corki has to be able to follow up with damage as well without being blinded in the meantime by Quinn. And she just bullies the pure 1v1 for the first 15-20 minutes of the game, especially if she goes Duskblade to start with. You can do some very, very mean things.
Jason Jungle, possibly forgetting. No, it's not the Kha'Zix.
Should be
It's not
Silas,
the
unless
York.
it's Quinn Jungle, but yeah, it should be Silas.
Yeah,
here.
it should be Silas. Definitely something we've seen in the past. Going to be working around the Silas, dealing with the ultimate. A little bit of memeing here in the pro draft with the Kha'Zix. But other than that, I am curious to see how both these come online, because when someone else comes online, when it comes to anyone truly for the enemy team, Silas comes online. Really. Now, I know we have our supreme targets we're looking for. You've, of course, got Jarvan with the Cataclysm, or you can pair through with Braum to get the Glacial Fissure ultimate. But then there's the little things that you don't think of. The on-the-hunt engage, where your team is sped up instantly. Or the Fiora Grand Duelist, where you're alone against someone and you just have to win it solo. Corki, of course, with the ultimate, he gets 3 charges to shoot forward with. But it's all something he can work with. I am sure, though, that he's probably going to be using more of that engage style, looking for the Jarvan Braum. But it's always out on the table with a pick like Silas.
That it is. It's also another jungle pick similar to Xin Zhao, where you can have some really good early presence and duels very well into the Jarvan early. Without that Jarvan ultimate, without that Braum ultimate, he is a little bit harder to play in the team fight, similar to Xin Zhao in the same way. But he is a disruptor. He does very similar things that Xin Zhao does, just with a lot better AP scaling. I think it's important to notice that, like Silas, when he duels against Jarvan, he can certainly have a leg up, and that CC he brings alongside Quinn or Kled can definitely help win one of these duels in either of the kind of solo lanes.
Yeah. Speaking of solo lanes, this is definitely a game where you've got your solo carries coming through that you kind of want to protect. There's a lot of power on particular targets on both teams. It's more so, of course, on White Lotus, where they're putting a lot of their pressure into Kai'Sa, and of course you do have some of the bit of the support with the Quinn, Silas, and Kled, but you're going to get a lot of damage out of the Kai'Sa if you manage to peel for her appropriately. Kled and Silas can do that wonderfully, as well as Quinn with the blinds. Nautilus, of course, is the CC god in that bot lane, just throwing the depth charge out, making sure no one's going to be touching her. But if Loki Dosi gets a bit ahead on this solo laner, Kai'Sa can be so oppressive, proccing the passive and just making her way through these team fights, just being able to get in and out safely. On the other hand, we do have Dynasty with some supreme picks that they can make work if need be. Sivir, of course, is one of the best ADCs in the game right now, making an absurd pressure statement, of course, with how quickly she can clear waves and just make the game last excessively longer. Corki, of course, as we saw last game through Jock Buffton, can be super oppressive if you get a little bit ahead, and Fiora, Jarvan, they can be flexed a bit more tanky, but if need be, if they get the chance, they can be very strong.
That's the case. And here's kind of how I see the game like playing out in the long term. Dynasty's composition is quite clearly a 4-1. It can turn into a 1-3-1 as well if Corki gets fed enough if they have Bear and they want to spread it out across the map. But for the most part, it's going to be Fiora in a side lane and then the other 4 either in the other side lane or in the mid lane fight. Here's the problem I see with that.
Hit me with the problem, Rebel.
Okay. So on the other side, on the side of White Lotus, if you're running a 4-man squad of Kled, Nautilus, Sylas, and Kai'Sa, you have multiple ways to get engagement onto Sivir, onto Corki, and the only real protection they have is Braum, because Jarvan's really engaged. He can throw down the Cataclysm, but that's about it. So the issue is like, if these compositions are even, Sivir and Corki have to play very defensively in order to make sure that they can win fights, and then it's about Quinn versus Fiora in the side lane. This matchup, I think, will be determined by, does Quinn suppress Corki enough to keep the 4-1 in favor of White Lotus, and does Quinn have enough to respond to Fiora in the side lane? Those are the 2 questions you need to ask yourself and watch for while the game continues.
You know, one thing I also want to bring up is the fact that Quinn and Kled have this ability to make their rounds around the map so quickly. I know we talked a lot about the 4-1, but you can put either Kled or Quinn in that position at a certain point. I know we're looking for Kled to be more of the engage tool for White Lotus, but if it ever comes to it, Charge and Quinn's ultimate with Valor can make some impressive movements so quickly and almost just barely, if you time it right, beat out a teleport very closely and be such a quick response time. So Corki, Sivir, Fiora, possibly just going to be a little bit late, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd be impressed.
Being able to rotate also without the necessity of that summoner spell means they can do it a lot more often. Quinn can be anywhere on the map. Basically at level 6, she is everywhere. You have to assume she is all over the map because she can be anywhere very quickly. Kled with that ultimate is absolutely insane as well. So these teleports have to be used perfectly from the side of Dynasty. Otherwise, as you said, they're going to get out-rotated.
Yeah, the out rotation is definitely something we will have to watch out for. These teams with their macro game, it's got to be perfect. If you're going to go in, you've got to go in knowing that you have tipped the scales in your favor. If not, you're going to get collapsed on so quickly, and we're going to see a very dominant victory from whoever makes that exchange.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to see this one. There's a lot of dive potential on the side of White Lotus. They have things like the Quinn, the Kai'Sa, and then like Clyde Sylas, obviously, as well. So Dynasty came out game 1. They lost pretty hard. They're getting challenged again with this dive comp. I want to see what it is that Dynasty can do to prevent it from happening.
The beast has fallen. It's taken a step down, but that doesn't mean it's dead. The beast is still there, and it's raring to go. It's not going to give up its position that easy. It's still Dynasty eSports. White Lotus has shown us an impressive game 1, but that does not mean it is it. So as we get into game 2 here, in a very, what I would consider even playing field, we're going to take a short spectator delay as we wait for what will be a very, very impressive back to the wall game 2. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back super quickly into Game 2 of White Lotus versus Dynasty eSports. Both of these teams are raring to go, waiting to see who can prove themselves out on the Rift. Like I said, this could be it for Dynasty, but they're not dead just yet. Looking at both these lining up here, not a full 5-man engage like last time. Curious to see how they're going to play out this very, very early. Possibly just taking it very safe.
Yeah, should probably take it pretty safe. It's not super great early game from either of these teams. Nautilus and Braum are both really good early game junglers, but every other person with one spell is just basically nothing at this point in the game.
Nautilus
so,
and Braum, very strong early game junglers. Yeah. Well said, Rebel.
Very, very, very good early game junglers. Yeah.
Other than
you ever play Old Devourer Braum though? Like that was that was actually busted.
Nautilus jungle was good too.
Oh yeah, AP Nautilus jungle where you just like one-shot camps. Yeah, that was amazing. The good old days.
Looks like both these teams opting for the red buff start though. Gonna get help from the actual junglers, Braum and Nautilus maybe. No, Nautilus is bot. Never mind. He doesn't need to do that. He's too smart.
I got you. 10,000 IQ, you make your jungler your support.
All right, red buff start. I'm curious to see how this is gonna play out. White Lotus has the mental game right now. They just showed Dynasty that they are not unbeatable, and the for fun attitude that they may be having is not going to work out here. Can't give it up.
They're immediately swapping the Quinn to the top side of the map to give Quinn a good early advantage, or at least to suppress the Fiora as best as possible. Kled can also take engagements into Corki, but I really do think Quinn has a better matchup against the Corki this early. So I think this is to protect D-Dog in the matchup more than anything.
Oh! Jock Buffton already pressing the damage there with Quinn, showing us how this lane's probably going to work out in a few minutes.
Yeah, you want to get a replay of that? He pressed his E button and then he autoed. Absolutely incredible mechanics on Jock Buffton.
All right, no need to call me out like that. I'm just saying the potential to go up against Fiora is there.
No, trust me, I'm 100% hype on this Quinn pick. That was a legitimate request.
Ooh, Jock buffed another E auto. So good in the top lane.
God,
if he keeps doing this is Supreme Poke.
Supreme Poke. You see, he hit that minion with a Q and AoE tagged Fiora.
All right. I get it.
You gotta set up. Silas is actually sitting here getting ready for a game.
Sitting there. Ooh, launching the blind. Fiora may not know the ignite comes through. He has to flash for. Ooh, Jason Juggle flashes instead for the first blood. Dorjan down this backside looking for the flag and drag. He's not gonna hit. Jason Juggle taking super low. Jock Buffton doing so much work to poke him away. He's doing more than that. He's taking kill.
That's what I like to see. Yeah, that's the Harrier procs right there. That's an amazing ability of Quinn's. Every once in a while, you'll get an additional auto attack onto somebody. Yeah, you'll get to see some of this at least. I don't know exactly where we're starting, but certainly, yeah. So Jock Buffton, basically, he starts this off really well. Clinton has great gank assist with the blind, with the E. Fiora flashes away after being ignited and it just gets caught by Jason Jungle. And then Dorjan has no mana to follow up after he comes back in and just gets completely denied any of the space he closed with the EQ with Quinn's E and then the blind just enough. The Harrier proc's also giving more attack speed, getting autos onto the tower. Phenomenal play there by Jock Buffton.
Ooh, and now Fiora opts to disengage from Jock Buffton back in the middle lane. Now we switch top and mid. D-Dog gonna get hit real hard. Not gonna lose Scarl, but taken really low. Ooh, Phoenix Aura stepping up. He's gonna get the root onto Bishop. He has to flash out, but the Knight is burning down. Lokadosi procs the passive, and now Jason Jungle is in his backline. Nick is taken super low. He has to flash to get out. Turn your attention to mid lane. D-Dog taken super low. Oh, no one engages quite hard there, but very close fight.
Yes. Now it is D-Dog that's in kind of a rough situation because Fiora can take the fight into a Kled in this state pretty easily.
Scarl's going to be back up very soon. D-Dog knows this. He may want to take the fight. No, he's going to just simply opt for the help. He's actually almost full entire health there on his base. D-Dog looking actually quite good, knowing when to time it out and not go for the trade.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's also...
Now he's going in. He took a turret shot, but he wanted that.
Took a third shot and is now almost dismounted immediately afterwards. That's kind of just typical Kled play, though. That's just how it goes.
Hey, that's the strong Kled player, the one who knows that there's always something to go for, but he does have to back, and he's probably going to be expending the TP as a result.
Absolutely. They did a really good job of just suppressing this Fiora to start the laning phase. I like that a lot. She can duel, and she can be very oppressive against basically any champion if he gets a slight advantage.
Ooh! Jason! Stopping the back! Posturing with the taunt! Jeez!
That is the worst kind of taunting right there, because he did it ahead of time. He hit her with the back end of the explosion of the Q. That is just...
Watch this.
Here, like, just... at this point, it's poetry. It's not even plain. It's just poetry at that point.
Gotta tell you, look how quickly they opted to put Fiora and Kled back in the top lane. They know where they want these lanes to go. The reset occurring quite swiftly. Jeez. Kessler versus Jock Buffton and D-Dog versus No One Knows Me. D-Dog now hitting charge with level 6. Definitely something to watch out for now.
Yeah. Another interesting thing to point out is this Quinn actually started BF Sword. So I'm not sure if you're going into Essence Reaver, if you want to go into Storm Razor, that kind of thing. Typically you see, especially into something like the Corki, you would see lethality because it just does enough damage, does enough burst in the earlier stages of the game to help you out. Even into Fiora, it would be good since she's not opting for armor to start with. But just instead goes for this BF Sword, whatever this is going to build into.
Ooh. No possible collapse there, but Jason Jungle almost made short work of launching on to Dorjan there.
Indeed. Control of the river going pretty heavily in the way of White Lotus as well. Just that one ward being able to spot out both of them is pretty big. But yeah, they should be able to capture this back. Quinn and Silas on the close side here.
Oh, now they're looking for Dragon. White Lotus taking a very early objective, and they have complete priority to make this happen now.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to drag it out pretty far. Jarvan shouldn't be able to contest. He's just going for his red buff right now. So yeah, it's free Cloud Drake going over to the side with the Quinn. Yeah, teleport's not going to beat a Quinn. Yeah, teleport's not going to beat a Quinn. Yeah, that's...
Imagine if they pick up 3.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, D-Dog getting autoed. That is... I almost thought that was Kleptomancy for a second. No, it's just a ward place in the top side.
Yeah. Kleptomancy is not a bad rune to take on Quinn either. I'm not sure why Fleet Footwork was actually the decision. There's probably 3 keystones that are optimal compared to Fleet Footwork. But certainly, Jock plays the champion. He's the one taking it here, so it's just his preference at this point.
Ooh. Curious to see if D-Dog can duel out the Grand Duelist. No One Knows Me. Definitely posturing this way, pushing it continuously. D-Dog has the CS advantage, but if this stays up, he may not. Ooh, No One Knows Me. Good. Repel there.
Yeah, good riposte there, but also really good E away from D-Dog, because if he hadn't, he would have been stunned, and then she definitely would have dismounted him pretty easily. So fantastic reaction there from D-Dog, just knowing not to get stunned in that situation.
Oh, and now he's going in. He sees the dashboard, knows she can't get out. No one knows to be taken by Grand Duelist is now coming out. Charge as well. No One Knows Me. Just has to flash to get away. Can't take the fight.
Yeah, no ultimate, no mana here from No One Knows Me, so you have to take it back that time. Oh, here comes Jarvan.
Dorjan trying to make his way. He can't. Actually, mid lane, Jock Buffton pushing Kessler out. Ignite comes through. He's burning down. Oh, bot lane. Good knock up down here. We see Nick and Bishop taking extremely low. The Ignite good Glacial Fissure from Jason Jungle to finish it for a double kill.
Yeah, really clean. Just across the map aggression here from the side of White Lotus means they can't respond anywhere. Dorjan, he went top to try to find aggression onto this Kled. Couldn't really do anything there, but then the rest of the map also finding aggression. You saw Quinn almost get a solo kill onto Corki. If it weren't for a minion, she probably would have followed it up with a Q and an auto under tower. Just couldn't get that there. But then obviously the Braum ultimate coming through for Jason Jungle.
Ooh, D-Dog coming through with Cataclysm under turret. Ooh, Jason Jungle now turns around. He tries to heal, but it's not going to be enough. That's going to be a kill for Kessler, trying to poke him out, but Logan takes down Dorjan. Double kill for Kessler. Lokadosi trying to poke this one out. Nick is back now. Ooh, Kessler gets hit by the W. Killer Instinct is in fact up. Does not want to go in. Definitely knows that Bishop is ready to retaliate.
Absolutely. Really interesting there from the side, from both sides. So White Lotus didn't actually have tower shots going down onto anybody while in the Cataclysm. So it confused me why Jason Jungle decided to turn with basically half a health bar into the... Because all they had to do was wait out Cataclysm and then walk out from under tower. That's all they needed to do. But I think maybe they overestimated damage, thought they could take the fight afterwards.
Oh,
just didn't work
Phoenix
out.
Aura. Spell Shield comes out. He uses the hook. He's gonna go for the root. Now we see Jason Jungle here. He's gonna steal on the hunt from AR Bishop. Oh, she has to flash out. He gets the pull forward, but onto Nick instead. He has to back off. He doesn't want to take it. Now turn your attention to mid lane. Jock Buffton and Origin. He's not able to get the kill, just the chase ensuing, but no follow-up as a whole.
Yeah. Really, really good shield there from D1 Nick, though. He threw that like last second to prevent the chain from locking onto the Sivir. Instead, locked onto him, broke that chain from being able to go anywhere. Fantastic little usage of it, though. Just a good microplay.
A quick announcement real quick. VRZHY, thank you for the follow. Jeez, just like this viewer is following D-Dog out of Scarl. Now Grand Duelist is coming down looking for the fight. He's going to get 2 procs. He has to flash away, but Jock Buffton is there. No one knows me. He's going to try to run away, but it's too fast. He gets the proc. That 2, no one knows me, goes down.
Yeah, did you see the way that Quinn pressed her E right there and then immediately autoed afterward? Oh my goodness. The mechanical outplay from Jock Buffton. I just shot. Now, really good rotation, though. That's what we're talking about. The Cloud Drake on top of Quinn's ultimate just allows her to be everywhere on the map. And he knew the call was from D-Dog. He knew the aggression was going to come through. So he immediately made his way topside. Rotation now from D-Dog coming to the mid lane, pushing that back out. The lane assignment.
Rotate topside. Kessler. Ooh, he gets the hit. Can't take
He's not going to beat
You're
this
right. He's not going to beat it. He's just making sure he stops the wave.
Okay. So interesting little build here. So coming out of Jock Buffton, he went Infinity Edge first. The reason why you build... Oh,
wait a second, Rebel. That's a full 5-man team in the top side. Charge coming through Jock Buffton, laying out the damage night with Phoenix Aura back on. He's going to hit him down. Single auto. He takes the kill.
Yeah, really good
tanking
rotation
from the support, Loki Dosi.
Yeah, they could easily go for this tower. If it were me, you keep one person. Yeah, Lokadosi's here to push the tower.
Loki Dosi. Ooh.
Oh,
You've got a response. Ooh, no one knows me sitting right here by the Rift Herald with our boy Dorjan. Nick in the backline. He's going to go straight on to Phoenix Aura. He comes through with the stopwatch. Now there's a double knockup with the Glacial Fissure on the D-Dog and Jason Jungle. But it's gonna be too much as Jason Jungle comes through and saves himself. Jock Buffton is here. Jock Buffton is clear as he gets the double here. He comes through as Kessler's trying to run away, but it's not gonna be enough. Jock Buffton doesn't get it, but Lokadosi finishes it off. Immaculate play forward from White Lotus for a full team wipeout. The rotations were beautiful.
If someone said that this was the way that this game was gonna come through, I would have been like, oh yeah, Dynasty pulling out the Quinn, doing something. I would never have thought that White Lotus was going to be this dominant against our #1 team, our undefeated team. 2 losses, what you said, over the course of the entire season. They don't look like it right now. They look like they're making mistakes left and right, or at minimum, White Lotus is just oppressing. They are just all over the map, enforcing their will with anything that they want right now. You see that in this fight. Just they didn't even need the Quinn. The Quinn was coming in from the backside, would have won them the fight anyway, but they won it with the Cloud on the front side. They just, perfect play with White Lotus right now.
Boom! Mid-turret down. Rift Herald pushing it out. Lokadoshi 4-0. Jock Buffton 3-0. D-Dog 2-0. Jason Jungle 3-2, but just as strong. This is an aggressive White Lotus, and they know it. Yeah. No one knows me, can't make the engage, but the chase is ensuing. They're gonna give up the blue buff. We do see Dorjan go in here. No follow-up. Ooh.
Yeah, without Corky there, they can't really take that fight because they're terrified of what's going to happen. Also, Jock Buffton able to make the rotation towards the top side of the map to start pushing that tower. So when they break mid tower and escort the Rift Herald to the second, they walk up through the jungle, take blue buff away as a squad because they know Corky's on the bottom side, and then just push for top tower. So now towers are even except for the mid one that was taken down, and they got some jungle camps away. That's just positive play from White Lotus. They're up 8,000 gold right now, 3 towers to none because Corky wasn't able to get one on the bottom side. They're looking phenomenal right now.
Yeah, White Lotus looking extremely strong before any action takes place in this incredibly enticing game. I gotta say, we've got 2 minutes left to vote, everybody, so get your bets in now. Make your last guesses on who you think is going to be the victor here. If you have the top points by the end of the season, you get a $10 reward for being first place.
Yeah, Z said he'd also be your best friend if you won the points. So if you want a best friend named Z, yeah.
Ooh, D-Dog making a move onto Kessler here. He can't even get out. The dash is nothing for this man. No one knows me. Can't even go in because the dragon was just taken. That's another Cloud Drake. Lokadosi over the wall. Ooh, he's not going to go in for the full engage. No one's there to follow, but that is such a clean play.
Yeah, great rotation here from White Lotus. They get that dragon, a second Cloud Drake, by the way, and then they're able to find a kill, just a pure solo kill from D-Dog directly onto the Corki from Kessler. It's just... I don't know
good pull from Phoenix R here. The knockups are through, and the damage rips. Glacial Fissure can't stop it, even though it's a 3-man knockup. Jeez.
They didn't even break Scarl from Kled. Just a instantaneous, phenomenal engage from White Lotus with that ultimate coming out of Silas. Just great job. Split pushing still being done by Jock Buffton. He wasn't able to find a tower, but he pushed
Kessler here making the moves. He's gonna see Jason Jungle. The dash comes out. He's pushing forward. He dashes back in to get the knockup. He's unstoppable as he runs away. But the killer instinct is just as quick as Lokadosi finishes him off.
Just again, so how fast this team can engage or disengage a fight is insane. Jason Jungle has the dash and then immediately can chain. You have killer instinct from this Kai'Sa. You have the ultimate from Quinn. You can rotate so fast with this squad that I just don't think they're ready for it. I don't think they're ever ready for the fight to be extended beyond just like whatever they think it's going to come from the side of Dynasty, and that's why they keep losing. They're just not ready to take a fight further than what they're willing to, and then the fight gets forced on them by the side of White Lotus.
This has got to be one of the most interesting upsets in ABL history. The number 4th place team making a fool out of Dynasty, which has shown such impressive gameplay this entire season. You got to wonder where they're at right now. There's a chance for them to come back, but it's looking real tipped on the scales right now.
That it is. And also, now you have game tape from what happens when Dynasty starts to lose. And that's something that's hard to find if you're on the side of like any of these teams. Recon 5, First Blood Marauders, even White Lotus now. You have tape of what they look like when they're weak, how you beat them, what compositions are you running, what champions are you running, what are they doing wrong, how do you exploit it. This is information that's absolutely crucial when you're coming into playoffs, and they're giving away so much of it right now. If they continue to struggle through this and they don't find a way back in, there's no telling what they can be replicated by the rest of these teams coming into playoffs.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they'll perform into playoffs. Even though that this is a sub game for Dynasty, they do have some people out here. It's still detrimental to watch a team who has performed well in the past just give it up this easily. It's 16-4. That's a 10,000 gold lead. 3 subs is not something that a top team should just shy away from and have such a difficulty with. You should have a macro plan, something set up, but White Lotus is making clean work this time.
That it is. And White Lotus has come out with a couple of pretty cool team songs. The first one was pretty standard and coming out with like Corki and with Lucian, but they were using that front line a little bit different way with the Kled.
No one knows me. Ooh, good riposte there to block a chunk of damage, but Jock Buffton reigning supreme on the Quinn.
Yeah, that's just the power of that Quinn. The movement speed and the attack speed coming out of her with those Harrier procs is just absolutely nuts. And again, that riposte, if it weren't under tower, she just continues to auto her to death. There's nothing that you can do if you're the Fiora. That was why I was confused when it came through in the first place. You gave away so much information and you had nothing to respond to it with. And then here's Quinn. Can put it in either matchup against Corki or Fiora early, and they win it. You gave Kled a good enough matchup that he was able to get it as well, and now you're struggling because...
Look at that chunk of damage. We see Phoenix R going here. See the Cataclysm come through with Jason on this backline. Dorjan has to stop what you get away. We do see Phoenix R go down as a result, and Dorjan taking them back. Jason Jungle launches forward, and they go for an easy kill on No One Knows Me as they pick him off.
Yeah. Really clean there from the side of White Lotus finding these fights.
4 people down. The waves are pushing in. Can Dynasty do anything at this point?
Watch the flank.
And there's backside. Kessler's going to dash away there. Ooh. But the movement has already taken place. The damage is done. Dragon is coming up very shortly. Looking like it's going to be a wonderful Mountain Drake to pair into what will be a Baron very soon.
Yeah, and Baron's going to come up, and that's pretty fast Baron from them as well, because they have these two ADCs between the crit Quinn and then the on-hit Kai'Sa. They should shred through that Baron very, very quickly, and they have plenty of zoning and re-engage from the Nautilus, from the Kled, to be able to turn if a fight were to start to break out. And there's no real response from the side of Dynasty, at least at this point in the game, especially with Lokadosi just as strong and as power, just as oppressive as he's been playing in this game.
Yeah, Lokadosi definitely pressuring so hard on the Kai'Sa. He's shown impressive gameplay both on the Lucian and Kai'Sa in Game 1, Game 2 here. It's not over just yet, but this man is being an absolute monster in the bot lane this game. And a lot of that does have to do with Phoenix Or and some of the rotations we've been getting from Jason Jungle as well as D-Dog and Jock Buffton, but he still is performing so adequately.
Yeah, absolutely. This whole team, like I said, they've been very, very few mistakes, if any, especially in this game. They've just looked so clean top to bottom. Being able to, like I said, against a top team like this, too, it's just so surprising. They bust out a counter pick, just something that they weren't expecting, both the Kled and the Quinn kind of counter picks. But you wouldn't expect it to go this well, but it has been phenomenal. The one takeaway is everybody start playing Quinn, please. This champion's amazing.
D-Dog gonna launch forward here on to No One Knows Me. Good stun to come through with the Q, but the damage is very strong. He's preventing him from getting to the Baron, and that's gonna be it. White Lotus D-Dog. Ooh, he goes for the stopwatch. Not gonna fight it out. Now we see the depth charge on this backline. Jason Jungle gonna launch straight forward on it. Nick, we see Georgian come in with the Cataclysm as Bishop just rips through. Now we see Lokadosi in the backline come through with Killer Instinct to do some impressive damage to Bishop and my boy Kessler for a double kill.
And that's the fear that you had coming into this one. The 4-1, for some reason, they are running the Quinn instead of the Kled because they feel like the Kled is better in the side lane against Fiora. But certainly, this is the idea. You have people in the front able to take some damage. You had Nautilus, you have the Quinn there, and then immediately Kaz is able to get onto the backside of the fight. And that's what happens. She cleans up astronomically well. Now Lokadosi pushing him with this Baron buff, and then top side, you also have Quinn pushing him with Baron buff. That's 2 inhibitors probably dead right now for basically nothing. I don't know that it's possible for Dynasty to come back to this one.
It's definitely looking very one-sided here. No One Knows Me. Nick, AR Bishop trying to poke out D-Dog. It's not going to be enough. The blind comes through from the Quinn. They're on top of D-Dog. Dun is there, but he gets dismounted so quickly and backs off. Now it's up to my boy Phoenix R with an amazing hook to pair it off with Quinn on this backline. Ooh, good W from Lokadosi to pair for a kill on the Bishop. That's 4 members of Dynasty down, and it looks like Game 2 and the series as a whole in a 2-1 impressive victory. Going so quickly with another kill on Kessler. White Lotus takes it impressively clean. Oh my.
I'm like speechless right now.
I'm
Dynasty.
Speechless. I'm lost.
Doubled their games lost, and this is the first series loss they've had all season out of nowhere from White Lotus. Like, this came as a huge shock to everybody, at least in my opinion. I'm surprised. Like, it wasn't even like terrible wins. It wasn't like cheap wins. They weren't like split pushing for a win and they just happened to like beat them out. It wasn't like good team fights that went late. These are 2 sub 25-minute wins for White Lotus. That is astonishing.
Yeah, it's definitely something to impressive, but I have to say we do have to acknowledge one fact here.
Yeah.
Dynasty's playing with 3 subs tonight.
That's fair.
It is fair that Dynasty, they don't have Rat, they don't have some of the best players. So it's not particularly surprising that they did have such a difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, even in itself, they did take a loss here. And at the end of the season, they're our #1, and they do have such a supreme position going into playoffs. They can come back from this real easily. But it does give a sort of sense to the few players that did make the supreme faults here from Dynasty, White Lotus, Recon, First Blood, even some of those lower teams that are coming towards playoffs into this later end of the season on the ABL can start making the appropriate decisions that might give them the game plan for Dynasty. So Dynasty's not set in stone yet. The beast has fallen tonight. It's wounded. It's got to go back to its cave. It's got to recoil a little bit, and it's got to take some time off, but coming into playoffs, the beast will be back, and it'll be just as strong as it was earlier this season. But with that, Rebel, I do have to ask, give me your MVP from White Lotus this game. Who was the
man.
strongest?
That's so tough to answer. I gotta give it to Lokidosi. I think through both games, he was just a monster. The Lucian game was really good, and then in this one, he cleaned up. Jock Buffton was also amazing. The Corki was really good, and then busting out Quinn in this game is just, I was astonished. I love Quinn. It's something I've been doing a lot of research on recently, so I was happy to see it come out, but I gotta give it to Lokidosi. I think he was so clean in the series.
Ooh, Lokidosi. Definitely going to be looking to pull him in real quick for an interview here.
Hello.
Lokidosi, how does it feel to take a game off Dynasty, a series?
I mean, it'd feel better if they didn't have 2 subs. You guys had 3, but their ADC came back like last minute, so it was 2 subs, but it was still like, I don't know. I feel like we would have clapped their bot even with like their main support, but well, actually their main support left after. Yeah, that was weird. He left after 1 series loss, but I don't know what's happening with them. They didn't have their best player either, because Rat's like by far their best player, I think.
Well, with that, you still managed to pull a great series of victories, even with the disadvantages that Dynasty was put on tonight. You showed impressive play in Game 1 on the Lucian, as well as an incredible movement with the Kai'Sa consistently. Lokidosi, how does it feel, though, to come through and be one of the most absolutely supreme carries for White Lotus right now as you come towards playoffs?
Well, it's kind of always been like this. We've pretty much been a bot-centric team, because like Phoenix and I are like we're really good together. Like there's not many times we actually like straight up lose lane, and if we do, it's probably because we're getting like giga camped. And so being like the main carry for the team, it can be like relatively like stressful, and I feel a lot of pressure in certain games where like I'm the only strong one. But this one, I felt like Jock Buffton was doing really well, so like the pressure wasn't so high, you know.
I have to ask. So Dynasty, of course, disadvantaged tonight, but White Lotus played impressively strong. We didn't really get to see the real big faults of them. Coming into playoffs, y'all will have to make the apparent shifts if y'all are looking to make that #1 victory and be the winners on the ABL this season. Is there any apparent weaknesses that y'all are trying to work on and come back even stronger as we come into playoffs?
Fuck Jason Jungle. I think he's our weakest link. He like, I don't know, like it wasn't seen on stream because this was against R5, but like he literally east forward like when we see 3 of them, and he gives the bot laner like a red buff, and my lane's literally just griefed. Like I hate that. I actually hate that guy.
Jason Jungle, I know you're in chat right now. You've just gotten roasted incredibly hard by Lokidosi, and apparently you need to step up your game if you're going to lead this team to any sort of victory as we approach playoffs.
True.
Lokidosi, is there any other apparent weaknesses, or is it just Jason Jungle?
Okay. No, I think like whenever we had K-Man, like our top side and mid side like felt a lot stronger, and then we had him, and now it's like they didn't seem as strong. So I think it might just be jungle diff.
Okay. Lokidosi, you played incredibly well. I have to give you that. You say your bot lane is essential focus here on White Lotus, but is there any point where if the bot lane is disadvantaged, where's the trust then? Apparently it's not Jason, but who can you trust?
Okay, so I mean, if D-Dog gets like a champion that like he's comfortable on, like I think he's really good. Like he's a really good Yasuo player, and like a lot of times when he gets Yasuo, like he doesn't actually lose. Like he usually performs really well. So if he gets champions like that he's comfortable with, it's like the game feel a lot better pretty much.
Ooh, well, Lokidosi, Rebel, do you have any questions for this man?
Nah, I think you covered most of what I wanted to ask, actually.
Jeez. All right, Lokidosi. We ask that you refrain from the extreme flame, but if you gotta let your Jason Jungle know,
he's gotta know, you know.
He's got to know.
Like,
any possible replacement coming into playoffs?
You know, I think if we did that, he'd probably leave the team. like if we subbed him again, because Caveman was our starting jungler and he was pretty upset about that. So if we did it again, he'd probably just leave us. So I don't know.
All right. Get out of here, you meme in the wait on. Shout outs.
Shout out,
real
shout
quick,
outs.
Lucadosi,
Okay,
before we
okay.
kick you out.
Wait. Shout out to Jack Buffton. He can bench like 315. It's kind of insane. Shout out to ADFX for banning Lee Sin against Arc Recon 5, even though they don't play any Lee Sin. And I'll shout out for ABL for streaming this game. You guys have pretty good production. I'll give you that.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. I do want to give one shout out to Phoenix Ara. He
Oh,
was
I love that guy.
absolutely wonderful as support for you this game. I don't think he gets enough attention. We should have brought him in here with you. But both
Yeah.
of you make an impressive bot lane, and a lot of that does come from the pressure that Phoenix exerts. So great shout out from me to him.
Yeah.
But with that, we do appreciate the wonderful interview. Thank you, Locadosi. The hate on Jason's always appreciated for some reason.
The truth hurts, you know.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here.
All right.
Oh, jeez, Rebel. What did we do with that? Where do we leave off after that?
I mean, all I can say is that was a shocking match. White Lotus upset a team they shouldn't have. They did have 3 subs in, but we got more games to watch this week.
Dynasty ain't dead yet.
Nope.
But they have fallen. White Lotus on the rise, I will say. Definitely curious to see who's going to be the strong one coming into playoffs. But with that, I have been your play-by-play caster, Z.
And I've been your color Rebel Fox.
And we will see you next time, tomorrow, actually.
Mhm.
Actually,
Thursday.
I am incorrect. Thursday at the standard time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So come and join us again here on the ABL. We appreciate the support. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a good night.